This episode is brought to you by one of our adulting partners. And so, are you looking for a getaway in the woods of pines and parks? Say no more, Bern Baguio has got you covered. Strategically located in the middle of Baguio City's overlook of tourist communities, with easy access to tourist locales, gastronomic adventures, and nature-led outdoor activity areas. Whether you plan to get this for yourself and your family, or looking to invest for rental profit in one of the highly rated tourist spots in the Philippines, Bern offers both on marvelous peak views, where the pine trees grow, and where vacationers get to enjoy a nature-maintained community. Book a virtual discovery meeting or call through the link provided on this post.
Welcome to Oops, I Adulted, the podcast where we discuss uncomfortable truths with uncomfortable jokes. We're here to remind you that adulting doesn't need to be serious and grim. It can also be happy and funny, just with back pain.
Welcome back to Oops, I Adulted and our final episode on DEI. Today we're getting practical. We've covered the history, the benefits, and the ongoing challenges. Now let's talk about what actually works and how you can use this in your everyday life. Because let's face it, understanding why DEI matters is one thing, actually doing something about it is adulting on expert mode. Oh yeah. First, let's talk about what doesn't work, because nothing wastes time like ineffective approaches.
Yeah, boy!
And did you know, according to research by Dobbin and Kalev, it shows that many common diversity initiatives don't actually help much. Mandatory diversity training often creates backlash, and one-off programs typically produce little change. It's actually like going to the gym once a year and wondering why you don't have six-pack abs. So let's take a look at what research has identified as effective approaches. Starting off with data-driven strategies, organizations that track their progress and hold themselves accountable tend to see better results. As the saying goes, what gets measured gets managed. And if you're not tracking whether your hiring and promotions are fair, you're probably missing problems. Up next is having clear standards, which means having clear, consistent standards for decisions like hiring, promotion, and pay helps reduce the influence of biases, according to the research of Castilla in 2015. So when decisions are made based on gut feelings and culture fit, that's when unconscious biases run wild. For people with disabilities, the concept of universal design works very well, creating products, environments, and systems that work for everyone from the start, rather than adding accommodations later.
Yeah, boy!
Examples include captioned videos, which are helpful for deaf people but also for anyone watching in a noisy place. And there's also clear, simple instructions that are very helpful for people with cognitive disabilities but better for everyone. Research by the HRC in 2020 found that for LGBTQ plus inclusion, comprehensive policies work best, including non-discriminatory protection, healthcare benefits for transgender employees, and equal family benefits regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. In 2007, research by Raggins and Cram advised that programs that provide support to underrepresented groups can be highly effective, which is also known as mentoring and sponsorship. Adding on with Kulkarni's research in 2012 for disabled employees, having mentors who understand accessibility needs can make a huge difference in career advancement. Here's the most important finding. One-off efforts rarely work, while comprehensive approaches are more effective. So it's not about checking boxes. It's about changing systems. It's like trying to fix a leaky roof by patching one hole, which won't keep you dry if the whole structure needs work. Alright, now I can hear some of you thinking, that's great for organizations, but what about me? I'm not the CEO. I'm just trying to pay my bills and remember to water my plants. Fair point. Here are some practical ways you can contribute regardless of your role. Starting off, notice your assumptions. Well, we all have biases, and it's part of being human. The key is being aware of them and not letting them drive your decisions. Divine's 2012 research showed that with practice, we can reduce how much our biases affect our behavior. For example, do you automatically assume that someone with a disability needs help or that they can't do certain jobs? Well, most disabled people want to be asked before being helped and are experts at figuring out how to do things. Next up, speak up. When you notice barriers or unfair treatment, say something. This doesn't have to be confrontational. Often, a simple question like, "I wonder if this works for everyone," can get people thinking. You can also be an ally. For LGBTQ+ colleagues, allyship might include using correct pronouns and addressing inappropriate jokes. For disabled colleagues, it could mean ensuring events are accessible or advocating for flexible work options, according to Jones and King's 2014 research. Simply put, you need to amplify voices that might not be heard otherwise. In meetings, notice who isn't speaking and create space for their contributions. Personally, I like this one. You need to build your skills. Now, you need to learn about different experiences and perspectives. That isn't just good for DEI, it makes you more effective in our diverse world, according to Bennett's 2004 research. Which means simple things like learning about disability etiquette or understanding LGBTQ+ terminology can make a big difference in making others feel respected. Research shows that inclusion involves both valuing uniqueness and creating a sense of belonging, according to Shore and team in 2018. Think about it like this. People want to be seen for who they are and feel like they're part of the group.
Hello there, fellow reluctant adults. Just taking a quick break to ask a favour from you and your friends to hit those like, follow and share buttons while you listen. It inspires us to research the things you probably didn't want to know. And now, back to pretending we understand life and its mysteries.
Remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about making progress. Because none of us will get it right all the time. The goal isn't to never make mistakes. It's actually to keep learning and doing better. So as we wrap up, let's look at where DEI work is heading. Recent social movements have intensified focus on these issues. According to Ray's 2019 research, there's also Black Lives Matter, #MeToo, disability justice, and ongoing advocacy for transgender rights have raised awareness of continuing inequities. And did you know technology is creating new considerations too, including potential biases in artificial intelligence, digital divides affecting who can access technology, and changing work arrangements that might create new barriers or opportunities for inclusion. While there's a lot going on, there are several promising trends that are shaping the future. There's intersectional approaches, according to Crenshaw and Collins' research, about growing recognition on how different aspects of identity work together to shape experiences. For instance, it's understanding how race or disability status and LGBTQ+ identity might combine to create unique challenges. Now, companies are starting to see that designing for accessibility often leads to better products for everyone. Think about how voice assistants like Siri were originally developed for blind users, but are now used by millions of people, according to Holmes in 2018. Now, with Powell's research in 2019, there's greater emphasis on fixing root causes and system barriers rather than just treating symptoms. This means looking at how entire organizations work, not just focusing on individual attitudes.
Dude, nice!
For LGBTQ+ inclusion, we're seeing better understanding of the wide spectrum of gender and sexual identities, including non-binary, gender fluid, and asexual individuals, according to Moore's research in 2020. Now, for disability inclusion, there is a growing adoption of the social model, which focuses on removing barriers in society rather than fixing individuals. And as disability activist Stella Young in 2014 famously said, "I am not your inspiration. Disability does not make you exceptional, but questioning what you think you know about it does." And so, as we finish our DEI journey, remember that this work isn't just about checking boxes or being politically correct. It's about creating places and spaces where everyone can contribute fully, where systems work for all people, not just some, and where we use all of the talent and perspectives available to us. Whether you're a CEO, a team leader, or just starting your career, you have a role to play. And in our increasingly diverse and connected world, developing DEI skills isn't just the right thing to do. It's a crucial part of being an effective adult. We encourage you to choose one action from the list we discussed today and try it consistently. Remember, small, regular actions create habits, and habits create change. Share your commitment on social media with the hashtag DEI Adulting, and we'd love to build a community of people making a difference in their everyday lives. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of DEI. We hope you found it helpful, occasionally funny, and most importantly, useful for your adulting journey. Until next time, keep adulting, and remember that creating inclusive environments is one of the most grown-up things you can do.
Well, that's all the adulting we can handle for this episode. If you've made it this far, we understand if you were not sleeping and were only resting your eyes, so congratulations. You're better at this than we are. We're hoping you learned something new just as we did. After all, that's what adulting is all about. Thanks, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
This episode was brought to you by Bern Baguio, luxury living across the Pines.